February 16th, on February 16th at approximately 3 a.m., Adrienne Reid reported to law enforcement that her daughter, Genises Reid, was gone from the apartment and the exterior door was open. Through the course of our investigation, detectives developed sufficient probable cause to determine that the report was false. On February 17th, Adrienne Reid was arrested and charged with false reporting to law enforcement authorities, Class C felony, due to the report alleging imminent danger to a person. As investigators continued to follow leads and interview witnesses, information emerged indicating that Genises had not been seen with Adrienne since Christmas Day. Through the careful and methodical work of investigators, we have reached a heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Genises and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster. Today, March 9th, 2026, Adrienne Reid, the mother of Genises Reid, had been formally charged with capital murder for the killing of a child under the age of 14 and abuse of a corpse. The last confirmed contact with family members occurred on December 25th when Genises visited relatives in Dothan for the Christmas holiday. That evening, she was returned to her residence in Enterprise with her mother. During the investigations, detectives obtained camera footage from a neighboring residence showing Adrienne walking toward the apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag at approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas night. 2 days later, additional footage captured Adrienne returning to the dumpster area carrying toys and other belongings belonging to Genises. Today is a especially heartbreaking day for our community. March 9th would have been Genesis' third birthday. The loss of a child, the most precious and innocent members of our society, is something that cannot be ignored and will not be forgotten. The investigation is far from over. Our focus now turns to bringing Genises home to the community that loved her. The search and rescue process will be long and difficult, but our resolve remains unwavering. We will continue working until Genises is brought home. At this time, I will turn it over to Sheriff Byrd, who will provide an overview of the landfill recovery process.
Thank you, Chief Moore. This is a sad day in Coffee County. So, we have been involved in this case since February 16th. I've had multiple investigators with this office, with them working and throughout this whole entire operation. And early on, I had a gut feeling this was where it went. So I had started initially calling and searching and filling, and we have contacts through the collection agencies that are really good friends of mine, and we started tracking this. So I initially went and got cadaver dogs and went to the landfill early on in this investigation. And at the beginning, they gave me we had about a 4 or 5 acre window. This landfill is over 100 acres of working space. But that does not deter us in any form or fashion. So as the investigation continued, we can proudly say that we've narrowed it down between 200 and 100 feet square. Okay. Our landfill is probably one of the most modern landfills in the state of Alabama. They have drones they fly. We have GPS trackers on the bulldozers. We have GPS trackers on the packers. We have GPS trackers on the garbage trucks. We know where they are, when they are, and how they are at all times. So when the FBI and Enterprise Police Department and all the SBI gave us a date, we started dialing in. Investigators SBI worked round the clock, and it was just awesome. The FBI team, the car team, was tremendous in this. This search is going to be methodical, but we're not going to waver at any point looking for her. Now, I will say we have not put the first piece of equipment in the dirt. All we've done for the past, since February the 16th, or right after that, we've been plotting and searching. It's a 100-acre landfill. I want to ask the public to keep praying for us. This is going to take a while. I'm going to ask you for your patience. We are determined to find her. We're going to give I'm going to ask the surrounding agencies to send me personnel. We've got a team out of Atlanta coming that has found several 50-something in landfill. They're experts. They're going to show us how to excavate this. We're dialing it in. They're going to be here this week, and we will get started. We've already been started. So I want to sit here and thank the FBI, Enterprise Police. They have done tremendous work. SBI, the marshals, our sheriffs and deputies, the investigators, Enterprise. The community has reached out and helped us in every form and fashion that we know how, and that is tremendous. So, y'all keep us in your prayers. Thank you.
James Tarbox, District Attorney. Want to update you on the legal process. Adrian Reid, as Chief said, has been formally charged with 1 count of capital murder for intentionally causing the death of a child under the age of 14, pursuant to Code of Alabama 13A 540 subsection A15. She has also been charged with 1 count of abuse of a corpse pursuant to Code Section 13A 1113. That is a Class C felony under the laws of the state of Alabama. She's now charged with a total of 3 felonies as a part of this investigation that began on February 16th. Capital murder under Alabama law is the intentional murder of someone with a legally recognized additional factor. In this case, subsection A15 is our additional factor, which is a victim under the age of 14. Genises Reid was 2 years old. Abuse of a corpse is when a person knowingly treats a human corpse in a way that would outrage ordinary family sensibilities. Reid will have an initial appearance before District Judge Josh Wilson on the new felony charges later this week. She will be entitled to counsel. Based on procedures established under Code of Alabama 1513.3, she will be held without bond. She may later request a bond hearing, but the court is not under the strict time provisions set out for what we commonly refer to as an Anais law hearing. Under Alabama law, if we are successful in our prosecution for capital murder and Adrian Reid is convicted, there are 2 possible punishments for a jury to decide: life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. During the court proceedings of this case, our office will have to formally elect whether we are seeking the death penalty. I am committed at that time to fully evaluating the case file and evidence before making a final decision on the death penalty. However, I am formally announcing today that based upon everything I know at this point about this case, this is having been with our officers, our deputies, and our agents for most of this investigation, day in and day out since February 16th, our office will be seeking the death penalty in this case. The evidence shows that Adrian Reid killed her 2-year-old daughter. She literally threw her in the trash. And then she engaged in a 53-day-long campaign of deceit, lies, manipulation, and, as previously stated, destruction of evidence, before she finally made her false report on February 16th. Her conduct speaks for itself, and I believe this preliminary decision to seek the death penalty conforms to our community's beliefs about this case and our shared values about how we value and seek to protect the most innocent among us, our children.